Well, we're not on Cebu today because we're going someplace else. What's the plan for today, sweetie?
Well, it's a drive down to Galveston, and it's 44 minutes instead of 4 hours. And we're got rescheduled to go out on the Elissa, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
Yeah, today is the best weather window we've had in a long time.
Yeah, the wind's supposed to pick up again tomorrow. The tide was really high yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday it was crazy. It was almost like flood level waters.
Yeah, so it's a should be a good sail today. It's probably the best day for it.
Yeah.
And we're taking you guys along with us.
Stay tuned.
This is Patricia, and I'm Dave. During the summer of 2020, we traveled to French Polynesia for a sailing vacation. We had such a great time that we decided to buy a sailboat when we returned. Our new Jeanneau Sun Odyssey 440 arrived in April of 2021. Watch as we outfit and upgrade Cavu, learn to sail first on the Texas coast, but eventually the world. The Tall Ship Elissa is a 3-masted Baroque ship based in Galveston, Texas. She is one of the oldest sailing ships today, launched in 1877. Most of the year, she is a floating museum operated by the Galveston Historical Society. However, a few weeks out of the year, they leave the docks with those lucky enough to get a ticket aboard this historic vessel. Today, we'll be trainees on the Elissa as we take her out into the Gulf of Mexico for a day sail. Now, a ship like this that was designed to cross oceans is a difficult task to master on the quick day sail format. However, the crew is up to the task. Sit back and enjoy the sights and sounds of sailing the Elissa.
Welcome aboard.
This morning. So first off, my name is Mark Sabitico. I am the port captain and director of Galveston Historic Seaport. It is my pleasure, on behalf of Galveston Historical Foundation, board of directors, its staff, its incredible corps of volunteers, to welcome you on board Elissa's 144th year sailing on the water.
With a tricky combination of sails and different mast angles, the crew of the Elissa was able to sail the ship off the dock in the same manner that it was done historically as a full-time sailing ship.
Okay, what do you think? You still like your electric winch?
Yeah. I was still looking at this.
Yeah.
Text against crab.
Usually.
Isn't it an original, not a replica, meaning she is still her 1877 self. Most of her iron on board on the hull is original with some steel replacement. She sailed for many years as what we just call a merchant carrier, a tramp carrier. She didn't have a set cargo that she carried from port to port, but she did like to carry a lot of lumber. In 1883, she arrived in Galveston with a load of bananas from Tampico, Mexico. And when she left Galveston in January of 1884, she took a load of Texas-grown cotton and carried it back across the Atlantic to where it was turned into textiles, home goods, clothing, that sort of thing. Later on in her life, she's been through many different name changes and many different job changes. But there at the end, she was smuggling alcohol and cigarettes between port to port. She had a unique ability that she could transform the way she looked so that as the military ships were out looking for her, they would just change their deck furniture by adding wood. They would see the ship go by, they say, that's not Christophorus, that's not who we're looking for. And she would keep on going on to the next port with all of her smuggling deeds that she was up to. Eventually that captain was caught and he went to jail, and Elissa went to a scrapyard in Greece, where she was then found by several people who started to do the research on this old sailing vessel. They discovered that she was built in Aberdeen, Scotland in 1877 because they found her hull plate still on board. It listed her hull number and where she was built. They did more research. The Galveston Historical Foundation caught wind of it. They were interested in finding something to draw more folks to the seaport side of town rather than just the beach. They were trying to develop their downtown area. So they put in more research. They found Elissa called on Galveston not once but twice because she came again in 1886. They said, well, we want to buy it. We'll do the restoration. So they started the restoration in Greece, and then they towed her back home across the Atlantic to finish the restoration here. She opened to the public for the first time in 1982, and she got underway and sailed to New York in 1984. Since then, she has been sailing just about every year. Early on, she was just what they got a temporary excursion permit to go out. Now we are a sailing school vessel, meaning we go out every year. We take all of you who are paying trainees to be on board, and we show you some of the hands-on and how to sail.
Once we were outside the jetties, it was time to climb the mast and set the sails.
An official job. I'm in charge of throwing the lifesaver for the man overboard.
Did somebody actually assign that to you?
I assigned myself that job because I like the seat right here.
Yeah, that is
It's a pretty comfortable seat. I got a little ear vent down there. Pretty much like AC. 1877 AC right there.
We only have 3.
Wow, that is
Patricia discovers that a visit to the head involves a very serious climb.
I like our gradual stairway better.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
On the course. All right.
Fort Thomas Stasel, wherever here it is.
Before we knew it, it was time to head back in. We tried to show you as much of the Elissa as we could, but without making this a 90-minute documentary, it's really hard to get the total picture of what's going on this ship. We put a link to the Galveston Historic Society in the description below if you'd like to experience the Elissa for yourself. We highly recommend it.
What's that movie they got out, Around the Horn, where the guy takes the camera like Rebecca Johnson's great-grandfather. Really? Yeah, that's her great-grandfather making that movie. That's awesome. You get it on YouTube, but help out such a great gift shop. I think it's right.
Hey, we're back in from sailing on the Elissa. It was a great day. Really encourage you to do this if you get a chance. Experience how things were a long time ago. It's a lot harder than what we have it on Cavu, and we really had a great time.
Yeah.
A lot of volunteers make this thing happen. So make sure you like and subscribe. We need subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. It's free.
Yeah.
And it helps us out a lot.